Of course, this sudden crash is falling differently upon different heads. For the old, my absent-minded sneeze may bring a terrible death. For the young men who are standing together and laughing, waiting for their bus, the risk seems trivial, and what young blade worth his salt shuns a risk? This game of Russian roulette that they play every day is new and edgy, and they feel immortal, blithely confident that they at least will be standing for the same bus next year. So heaven has given us to live in interesting times. We are entering the gravest global crisis in many decades, and it's right for Muslims to reflect, taking advantage of these newly long and quiet days. But before we do so, let us self-quarantine from the panicky and sensational media. Let us click away and block up our ears against the second-rate fumbling politicians. Let us look from our windows upon the eerie emptiness of the streets and consider what God might mean by this. Even the atheist brain knows ours for a time of hubris. We madly ravage and violate nature and walk upon the moon. Every other species cringes from us as ecosystems die. Our gamed financial system is increasingly parasitical upon the poor. From our human perspective, COVID-19 is an infection which disorders our world. But seen from the world's perspective, humanity itself has, over the past age, become a still more deadly disease. Like a fungus or a hookworm, we suck the blood of the host, multiplying insanely until the ecosystem itself, the planet which we vampirize, starts to sicken and die. Bani Adam, released from the natural restraints urged by religion, has itself become a disease in its planning and its wisdom, no more intelligent than a microbe. We have become a Qarun virus. And now God's world is paying us back with this invisible miasma which makes us afraid even to inhale. Putin and Trump, masters of nuclear arsenals, are staggering back from its influence, discovering perhaps the Naqshbandi rule of Khush Dardam, mindfulness in every breath. So small an enemy to have overthrown our world, too tiny to see, the corona literally a crown, this microscopic flimsy protein, this almost nothing, is now king of the world. In this divine irony, we remember old fables of the mouse and the elephant genre. The Holy Prophet, whose entire message is a challenge to love of dunya and fear of death, was born in the year of the elephant. How often we repeat that surah as though it were a nursery rhyme. But Abraha the tyrant remains a perennial symbol of the arrogance which seeks to displace the things of God. The Seerah writers tell us that the birds which rained clay pellets upon him and his army also brought a disease, so that their flesh started to rot on their bones while they still lived. It was a kind of terrible Ebola eating them alive. فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ.